This is the end game. We are entering the final phase for the Battle of Super Earth. If we fail, Super Earth is lost. Look at this, though. Using a Gatling barrage to destroy Leviathans, it is so satisfying. Nothing beats this game for set-piece damage.
This is the moment for which democracies will created you, Helldiver.
You're damn right, Mr. Democracy Officer. All right, let's get stuck into this. So, unfortunately, we failed the previous major order. So, the ultimate test of our resolve continues. Millions have perished, countless votes, dreams, and tax revenues been cruelly extinguished by the Illuminate Scourge. Though the Helldivers fought with unquestioning obedience, overwhelming enemy numbers prevented our heroes from completing the required number of operations. And so, the Illuminate fleet strength is now estimated at 24% of its original operating power. 4 megacities now remain. And so it all comes down to this, the final battle. The battle for Super Earth enters its final phase. The survival of freedom hangs in the balance. For days on end, we have defied annihilation. We have resisted tyranny. We have demonstrated the unified might of managed democracy. The cost has been grievous. Multiple megacities, all of which have stood for thousands and thousands of years, have been reduced to rubble. Their ruins are solemn reminders of the real human cost of unprovoked wanton butchery wielded with abandon by alien superpowers. But these sacrifices have not been for nothing. The tireless Helldiver and Seath resistance has reduced Illuminate fleet strength to 24%. Once depleted, the enemy will no longer have the means to sustain their assault. High Command anticipates an all-out assault to take the 4 final megacities. The Illuminate have spent a century preparing for this invasion. They will hold back nothing. What has come before was the preamble. This is the end game. Duty, loyalty, and obedience. We must win. If we lose Super Earth. And you can see the major order. We've got 3 days and 22 hours as of the recording of this video to remain in control of Super Earth, or we lose and Super Earth is gone. I've got to be honest, this is literally the best live service game out there. It's so good. So there's actually a really interesting thing here with this major order. Arrowhead are, well, they're preparing for both different outcomes. We either defend Super Earth or we lose Super Earth, in which case, well, different things are going to happen. Now, I wanted to address this in the video because I've seen a lot of people talking about, well, maybe it's just the case that Arrowhead, they always want us to lose Super Earth. It doesn't matter what we do, but it's going to blow up, it's going to get destroyed, and then we're going to have to find a new one or whatever, right? Or they just turn the game off, which is never going to happen, right? But they're actually planning for this, and what they're doing is there are leaks out there which show this in great detail. I don't recommend you check them out, but just kind of take my word for it. But basically, we can both lose and win this major order. It's coming down to the wire. Like I said, we've got 3 days and 22 hours or so as of recording this video to make sure we remain in control of Super Earth. So it's going to be close, but yeah, the devs are definitely planning for both outcomes, which I think is actually super sick. That is really awesome. So, I mean, holy shit, we need to talk about this, right? Live service done right. All the mission types are so fun to play on the Mega City, I guess, map or template. It's so good. You've got the Seath running around. Like, you almost feel sorry for them, right? The interactions with them and the Helldivers, they're so cool. Like, you can talk to them. You can get them to follow you using the basic commands. Also, they do funny things. Like, if you salute them and they're throwing a grenade, they just drop the grenade on the floor and then, well, they kind of explode, which is awesome. But I think the atmosphere is absolutely nailed, and it feels like everything Helldivers has been doing since the game launched is culminating in this massive battle for Super Earth, and it feels so good. And obviously, Arrowhead are getting rewarded with this. Players are flooding back to the game. I mean, I'm one of these players, right? I took a bit of a break from Helldivers, mainly because the mission types are getting quite similar. You're playing on the same tile sets, the same maps. It's like, whatever. The Illuminate were fun when they first got added, and I think the game had a real big resurgence of player base then as well. But this is like, hang on a minute, let's take a look at the Illuminate when it's full strength, when it's fully attacking Super Earth. And there's lots of different draws here, right? So you want to play on a new map, you want to fight new enemies. I think some of the new enemies are absolutely fantastic. The big guys, I can't remember what they're called. What are they called? What are they called? Tell me in the chat. I forget what they're called. But like the monstrosities, all the voteless guys all smashed together. They're actually quite a good enemy. Like, on the face of it, they look pretty terrible, right? They just run towards you. They're a massive, like, bullet sponge. But, I mean, piling damage into them, it feels so rewarding. And also, you can deal with them with basically any weapon if you've got enough ammunition, which I think is pretty cool. Like, it's a nice dynamic. I actually quite like them. They're a nice new enemy. I think the Leviathans are kind of a bit frustrating, although there are patch notes at the moment, which I'm going to go over them in a second, actually, because I've made some pretty good changes to what the Leviathans do on certain mission types. Also, I'm not entirely sure what killed me. I think that might have been... oh, no, it's mortars, isn't it? Of course, it's mortar fire. Of course, it's always mortar fire. But the moral of the story here is, right, you've got two different things happening, right? You've got good updates to an existing enemy, and then you've got this draw of Super Earth is under attack, which has always been the main play, the main story point of Helldivers. It is Super Earth. It's been at the center of the map. The moment that comes under attack, we are going to defend it. Everybody's going to turn up. And I think it's a testament to the community that Arrowhead have built around the game, that everybody is flooding back to play this. And it's so good. There's so many like awesome little quality of life changes. Like I like the way you can see where your destroyer is. If you kind of look at the top of the screen, you can see with the icon which shows where my destroyer is. It's just everything just feels fluid. There also feels to be some pretty decent performance upgrades to the game. It's not as laggy as I remember it being. It's still a little bit laggy, especially on the Mega City map, although they're meant to have done some changes to help with that. And of course, you've got the weapon customization system. Yeah, so that killed by the mortars again. You've got the weapon customization system. So, like, you look at all of this stuff and you go, right, we've got weapon customization, which they only charge requisition for the upgrades and the skins. They could have charged super credits if they wanted to, but they didn't. Again, that shows that Arrowhead is definitely for the player, even though they are running a live service game and they do want you to spend money on stuff, mainly the war bonds. Which, by the way, are permanent, which is fantastic because you can just go back and select them. Maybe you haven't played for a while. It doesn't matter. You don't miss out. That's really good. Obviously, we're fighting on Super Earth as well, which is just ridiculous. They've also released a new war bond in conjunction with Super Earth, which has been buffed, which may mean that they actually haven't sold as much as they wanted to, but we'll get onto that in a bit. It's just really, really good. All right, let's get stuck into these patch notes because they're pretty good. So there's an armor passive change. Now, when I first read this, I was like, oh, are they going to let us change armor passives on armor? That would be ridiculous. They've always been against that, though, from what I understand. But anyway, it's not that. What it is this. So after hard-fought battles on Super Earth, our Masters of Ceremony have become more grizzled and stronger. With their limbs not suffering any breakages, Helldivers adorned with these armors are finding themselves able to reload faster and punch harder. We have been monitoring your feedback in regards to armors and their passives. We have made some adjustments to the Masters of Ceremony armors, adding 2 extra perks. So they've now got increased reload speed of primary weapon by 30% and increased melee damage by 50%. Now, the conspiracy theorists out there in the chat, you're going to be like, yeah, the reason why they've done this is they haven't sold enough. Yeah, could possibly be true. Also, the Stingrays, goodbye. It could possibly be true. I mean, simply because they were kind of boring. Like, the 50% chance to not take lethal damage is kind of crap. I mean, I've got the armor on. I think I've got it on in this gameplay clip. Let me have a look. I can't even remember what I'm wearing here. Am I wearing it here? No, I'm not wearing it in this gameplay clip. But I've been wearing the light armor version with, like, the cap hat, which I think looks pretty cool. But the 50% limb thing is garbage. The reason why I've got this armor on here in this video is because this is the armor with the, I think, additional ammo for your primary weapon. I think possibly it's got that type of perk on. Anyway, I think this is good. Good armor passage change to the new armor in the war bond. But like I said, maybe it's because they haven't sold enough war bonds, so now people might buy it. I don't know. Also, moving on to the fixes, right? So they've fixed a crash caused by browsing interacting with weapon customization menu too quickly. I've noticed on mine, sometimes the weapon itself will just disappear. Like when you're customizing the weapon, the model disappears. Fixed a crash that could occur when exiting a takedown overship mission after you join mid-session. I hate those things. Fixed the crash that could occur when joining an ongoing repel invasion fleet mission. By the way, those missions are sick. The amount of firepower you required on those missions is mental. They fixed for another crash that would occur in the... Oh, I've just read... Oh, no, it's another one. There's another crash that occurs in the Repel Invasion Fleet mission. And it fixed a crash related to audio and fixed a crash that could occur when dropping into a game that is transitioning back to the ship. All right, so, okay, they fixed stuff. They're never too descriptive on this. That's fine. Now, enemies. This is where things get funky and juicy because Leviathans no longer target power generators in defense missions. Now, this is a massive change because I'm sure you've all played the defense mission where the Leviathan just absolutely destroys your generators from over the walls, over any kind of defenses. And unless you've got heavy anti-tank ready to take them out, you're not going to be able to take them out. You basically need the stationary turret to destroy them. If you don't have that, then you need to get lucky with things like the Gatling barrage, which we've seen at the top of this video, or you hit them with, like, you know, some sort of orbital barrage. But it's very difficult because they're moving around. So, yeah, they were kind of annoying. But now they won't target the power generators. I would actually kind of like to say about the Leviathans, why can't we destroy the weapons off them? This doesn't really make any sense. It's like they're just a massive floating ship with loads of gun turrets all over them. You can see them, but you can't actually destroy them. So you just don't have any option of interacting with them. I mean, if you look at the other enemies, like, I don't know, look at a Bile Titan, you don't need anti-tank weaponry to have an effect on the Bile Titan. You can shoot its sack out with any weapon, you know, so there is an interaction there. And I guess the same extends to the Factory Strider as well. And, you know, so they're okay, the Leviathans, but I think they need a bit more work. Also, they fixed an issue with enemy pathing on the military uplink objective. And then moving on to weapons and stratagems, they fixed weapons not reloading after switching equipment while holding an active stratagem ball, which I'm pretty sure has affected me. Not as bad as that. And then I just dropped my eagle on the floor. That was actually unlucky. Good job I didn't kill my team there. That would have been kind of embarrassing. Although my team killed me and I dropped a stratagem, so whatever. Where am I? Where am I? Oh, yeah. Fixed ship damage to shields held by traitors. Okay. And miscellaneous fixes. Improved stability on city missions featuring a Leviathan. Fixed players sometimes disconnected when multiple Leviathans were present in the mission. Fixed an issue where, due to Illumina interference, time was offset incorrectly on Super Earth clocks. And fixed an issue... Get ready, the next one's great. But fixed an issue with friendly and enemy pathing around the Shuttle Bay location. And then this one, the greatest change in the entire patch notes, is Helldivers should no longer be branded traitors from civilians willingly stepping on mines. So this means you can bring mine stratagems to Super Earth now. And yeah, because before they were actually terrible, because you'd be killing loads of citizens, you'd kill loads of Seath, you'd kill loads of people, you'd be a massive penalty for requisition, which would not be a good time at all. All right then, so yeah, this is sick, right? I cannot believe how good this update is. It's still got the jank, right? Let's be real here, right? There's loads of jank in this game. The graphics engine is like some absolutely ridiculous, outdated thing that isn't even supported by the company that originally made it. And it's some sort of ridiculous Frankenstein thing that Arrowhead are supporting. And they're probably the only company in the world that even uses this thing anymore. I think it's an Autodesk graphics engine. It's weird, right? So things are weird, things are strange, but it doesn't really matter. Like, it kind of adds to the charm in a lot of ways. Like, stupid stuff happens, whatever. It's not the end of the day. And I think this is good timing, because look at what happened here. What is this? This is like some sort of ridiculous performance issue, and then it suddenly fixed itself. Very odd, very strange. Now, it does seem to be that a lot of the performance issues on the Mega Cities are linked to the Leviathans. If that's true, then yeah, the more Leviathans that are actually out there on the map, the more of an issue you're going to have. But beyond that kind of weird stuttering, I get that every now and again. I don't think it's been too bad. It's been okay. It's been playable. Like I said, there's a lot of jank. But anyway, forget all that stuff. Whatever. Who cares about graphics, efficiency, whatever, right? This game is doing live service. It's awesome. It is like one of the only games that has almost like reinvented the live service genre. They get you to come back and play. And the tools they give you to play with are just awesome. The way the game plays is just awesome. The way they're directing the major orders is really, really good. And I do think this is awesome. But I've got to say this, right? Where do we go after this? Where do we go after the Super Earth major order finishes? Now, this will be the interesting thing. Now, like I said, we do know that they've got 2 bases covered. And the only reason why I know this is there are news reports available which you can watch. I wouldn't recommend doing that, where we either succeed or we don't. The question is, what will happen if we do succeed, or what will happen if we don't succeed? So if we don't succeed, they're obviously not going to turn the game off, right? They're not going to go, right, that's it. It's the end of Helldivers. That would be a one hell of a play by the devs if they just turn the game off. That's never going to happen, right? It would be cool, actually, if they just did it for a day. That would be pretty funny. Like, oh, it's just, that's it. The game's turned off. But what would we do? Go and find another Super Earth? Well, maybe. That's what happened in Helldivers 1. But they have said they don't want to copy the way Helldivers 1 went, because they kind of reset the Galactic War in Helldivers 1. So if the Helldivers started losing, Super Earth got destroyed, it just restarted again, and we had another Super Earth, and we just carried on again. There almost really wasn't any point to it. So I think the challenge here for the devs is to make sure there's always a point. So if we do lose Super Earth, just going away and finding a new one could feel kind of crap. And then if this happens again, it's not going to be as... well, it's not going to be as dramatic, is it? People are not going to be as taken aback by it and like, holy shit, this is the best thing ever. Now, on the other side, if we actually win, what do we do then? Do we go on a massive crusade to try and go through the wormhole and then they destroy the Illuminate homeworld? That would be a sick story arc if ever there was one. And to me, that sounds like a very easy play. So if you do want to push the Helldivers in one direction, Arrowhead, maybe give them a bit of a bump when it comes to defending Super Earth, so we can go on this massive intergalactic campaign. Because, of course, the Illuminate are in a completely different galaxy. Go and find them through the wormhole and absolutely destroy them. That would be awesome. What I'd hate to happen is it's just like, yeah, we defended Super Earth. Okay, the next major order, go and kill a certain number of bugs. Oh, great. Go and kill this, go and kill that. And then we've got filler stuff. I feel what they've managed to do right now is get the sort of tidal wave of the story back in flow. We're riding that wave, and they've got to keep that wave going because it could very quickly fall off, and then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, well, I had fun playing these new modes, but I've had enough, off I go. But that's the other thing, right? I think we do really need to talk about. I feel myself changing as a gamer, like quite heavily. I used to be that guy that was heavily invested into one game. You guys know, like the amount of content I made in Overwatch over the years was insane. Like thousands and thousands of hours I piled into that game on multiple accounts. It was like the game that I played, and I always was like that even before Overwatch came out. I used to play a bunch of different games, but there was always one game that I just played relentlessly, whether that be like Counter-Strike, even going back even further, like Day of Defeat and games like that. Games like EverQuest. You know, these were games that I was pumping tons of hours into, and I generally was like a one-game kind of person. So in some ways, the live service stuff does make me go, okay, well, this is ideal, right? I can just keep playing a game to endlessly updates. But what I've noticed happening to me over the last like year or so is I'm very willing to just go, you know what, I can play all these games. I can come back when there's an update, I can have fun, and then I can move on to whatever else is happening. And I feel like Helldivers is definitely in that slot. It is, yeah, it's a PvE game, right? It does PvE so well. It's a horde game. It's awesome. The weapons are awesome. You know, the set piece explosions are absolutely fantastic. You can't get this anywhere else. It's just incredible. And like, I don't mind dropping in. So maybe it doesn't matter, right? This is the moral of the story I'm trying to get to, is like, it doesn't really matter if maybe after this major order ends in a few days, things go quiet for a couple of weeks. It doesn't matter, because then, well, we can come back, right? All right, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I am honestly, like, this is incredible. It's a killer update to the game. I think they've done such a good job. Yeah, it's just so good. Just get out there and defend Super Earth, because if you don't, well, we could lose it to the Illuminate, and we really, 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 really don't want to lose Super Earth, because I'm really worried, because I think the options, if we lose Super Earth, are kind of crap for the story compared to if we defend it, because then we've got the Illuminate on the back foot, and we can start pushing them back, maybe take them to their homeworld, maybe try and blow their homeworld up or something. That would be actually sick. That would be so, so good. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. It's been a while since I've made a Helldivers video, so it is nice to drop one out. But yeah, that sounds wrong, but whatever. All right, guys, thank you. I'll catch you on the next one. See you soon.